we went on a little vacation.
Yes.
Some of the guys got together. We tried to do an annual thing, and we switched it up this time and went to some nature shit.
Yeah.
Went to some nature shit. We
Yeah.
going fly fishing, going to the
Mm-hmm.
mountains and Smoky Mountains and hiking and whatnot.
It's a fun time.
What's your takeaway from the trip there?
Yeah, it was a fun time, man. It's hiking. I'm not hiking is something that I rarely do, but I never went on like a real hike. You know what I'm saying? And it was, and that bit was it was different.
Yeah.
It was because
Elevation changes and everything.
yeah. Oh man, like the
Mhm.
weather changes, all that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's amazing. Like it's amazing to kind of like shifting of weather, just you just you elevating, like even your breathing changes because it gets thinner, and you start to like see different things and it gets quieter. It gets a lot quieter the higher you go. That's one thing that we noticed. I was like, why am I hearing like any birds or anything? It was so quiet. We were like, yo, are we like in another dimension? Like
the
like,
birds that's up there, ain't no little chirpy chirps. Those
Yeah,
birds
they
up
not.
there are like some freaking raptors and eagles and shit
Mhm.
like that are quiet and stealthy.
Super
And
quiet,
are just
yeah,
gonna
can't hear
swoop
nothing.
in and kill some
Mhm.
shit real quick, probably.
Absolutely, and it was just amazing, man. It was amazing to kind of see what I was able to see, like as we were elevating, as we were going up in elevation, and just like even like the fly fishing thing, it didn't, the fly fishing thing was obviously a little disappointing because of what we actually wanted to do, but it was still fun to be out there, right? Just to kind of
Yeah.
like fish
So that's
around
the
and
thing
just
is
kinda
that for
have a
me
good
the
time.
fly fishing part was it it was itself an adventure, right?
Yeah, in itself, yeah, for sure.
I think I see some I thought about this and I see some efficacy in that style of fly fishing. Like we're talking about, you know, a lot of big boulders and stones climbing over these things. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
nooks and crannies of the river that's flowing. Sometimes it's flowing really hard, really rough. Some places are very
Mhm.
mellow, whatnot.
Mhm.
And there's fish there. They're not big, right? They're not big
Yeah,
fish,
they're
right?
not,
But
yeah, yeah.
but there's that activity itself. I can see how that can be a particular set of fly fishing.
Mhm.
The thing that you listening to this right now think of when you think of fly fishing is this whole expansive kind of lake or maybe a
Open lake
wide
and
ass
yeah.
river. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? That you're standing, you're weighted there, and it's like you do the whole thing with the
Yeah.
rod back and forth.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And then
Yep.
woo,
Mhm.
and then you do your whatever. So
Mhm.
that I think there's space for both. So I think
Okay.
I would have liked to actually do both. Like
Mm.
if I would have known that one was an
Mm.
option too, the river,
Mm.
the
Mm.
boulders and stones and stuff like that, I'd be
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll try that as well.
Mm.
For fly fishing as well.
That's a good point. That's a good point, I think. Go ahead.
Um, but overall, my takeaway from that particular experience though is
Mm.
so. If you don't know, now I'll share with the audience here that I had foot surgery last year,
Yeah.
and I hadn't really done any kind of, it's a long healing process, and I hadn't really done major activity on my feet like that.
Mm.
No running, basketball or anything like that. Fucking
Yeah, yeah.
tennis. I used to play tennis sometimes twice a week. None of that shit, you know.
Mm.
And I really was just like making sure I fully healed. I tried not to rush it because the doc told me it could take up to a year, right? So I took that whole year.
Wow, I didn't know it was gonna be that long. Okay.
Yeah, he told me it could take up to a year, right?
Mm. Mm.
And every once in a while I still might get a little phantom pain, whatever.
Mm. Mm.
So that going up and down that river on them rocks and
Mm.
stones and like some underwater, some overwater, gotta stretch and put my foot in this little crevice to
Yeah.
get my
Yeah.
leverage and like
Get
bending
some
my
footing
foot
and all that. Yeah.
and I really put it through the paces,
Test. Yep.
right? And I was like, it feels fine. Now it's still I still might get more soreness
Yeah.
than the average person,
Mm.
but in terms of like injury, there was nothing like that. I didn't like
Mm.
set my
Good.
healing back
That's
by
good.
a month or 2 months or something like that.
Mm.
If I would have did something like that maybe 4 or 5 months ago, yeah, I
Yeah.
could have potentially fucked up some of my healing process or whatever. But like
Mm.
my shit's good. It's Gucci. And it got me to where I'm I was like, yo, let me go back. So when I got back home, I was like, let me try this shit out, you know? And so I went out, hit the treadmill. I hit the treadmill,
Okay.
and before I would be on the treadmill, I would walk, you know, because I could
Yeah,
walk, and that's what I was doing. But like running is a different beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I was running. I was like, I think my foot is good. I think let me go. And I got on the treadmill. I'm gonna do 10 minutes. I look up. Oh shit, it's been 15 minutes. I was like, yo, I'm good. I'm Gucci. So maybe I'm not all the way healed because I went out to the track this morning. To the track.
So you went out to the track, okay.
but I didn't, you know, I actually was on the grass part.
Yeah.
I didn't go out to the track. I was on the grass.
Okay.
And I was doing some 100-meter flies and some 100-yard flies. And I still feel something there.
Still, yeah.
Because that was like kind of sprinting. I wasn't sprinting. Because also I don't want to pull a hamstring. Because also I haven't freaking really ran in a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to go for like my muscle memory could kick in and I could just go way too fast than my muscles ready for, and I could pull something. So I wasn't trying to do any of that. I'm still testing. So I go out there and I'm like that pounding. You know what I mean? Like when you, and because your weight comes down, it goes up, and it goes down, and you have to like push off. And so you know. I might still keep that up maybe for, you know, once a week. I might do that on the grass. You know what I mean? I think I have to do that for a little while because what I do want to get back to is running my 5Ks. I used to run these 5Ks. And I want to get back to that. But overall, yeah. So that was generally the trip, and we took a little time off, and connected with our guys.
What did you think about that dinner show, man?
Man, that dinner show was weird.
Bro,
that dinner show was weird.
Yo, it felt like we were like in a whole different like
universe,
universe, man.
Oh, you like that? You like that, didn't you? Well, for more clips, click here.
Absolutely, and for the full show, click here.
I can't even see your hand.
Oh crap.